Fox's Jonathan Savage. Hamas still holds 56 hostages, only about a third of them believed to be alive. The man accused of attacking Jewish demonstrators supporting the hostages Sunday in Boulder, Colorado, injuring 15 of them, will appear in state court today. Fox's Kristen Goodwin reports.
Mohammed Solomon faces 16 counts of attempted murder in the first degree and 16 counts of attempted use of an incendiary device. Federal officials who charged him with a hate crime say he planned the attack for a year, noting his wife and 5 children are in custody as they investigate whether they knew about the attack.
A federal judge has blocked the deportations of Solomon's family. Another federal judge has ordered the Trump administration to allow more than 100 alleged gang members deported to El Salvador in March under the Alien Enemies Act to contest their removal. President Trump's issued a new travel ban to keep out
foreign nationals who are not properly vetted, as well as those who come here as temporary visitors and overstay their visas. We don't want them.
His order bans travel from 12 countries, including Afghanistan, Iran, Haiti, and Yemen. Restricts travel from 7 more, Cuba and Venezuela among them. Democrats are calling it cruel and discriminatory. President Trump has also ordered the use of the auto pen during the Biden presidency in an investigation into his mental decline.
Biden responded to those allegations in a new statement saying he knew what he was doing. Quote, "Let me be clear. I made the decisions during my presidency. I made the decisions about the pardons, executive orders, legislation, and proclamations."
As Fox's Lucas Tomlinson, America's listening to Fox News.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info is protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Russia has gone on the attack in Ukraine again with a deadly drone strike the day after President Trump says he had a phone call with Russian leader Vladimir Putin, who vows to retaliate to Ukraine's big weekend attack deep inside Russia, destroying warplanes and missile launchers and blowing up the bridge to Crimea. NATO has helped arm and defend Ukraine during this war, and there's a gathering of leaders today of countries in the NATO alliance. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is there, urging them all to spend more on their own defense, at least 5% of their country's GDP.
Every shoulder has to be to the plow. Every country has to contribute at that level of 5% as a recognition of the nature of the threat.
And that might also come up today when Germany's new leader goes to the White House.
Today will mark the first meeting between President Trump and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. Merz took office last month after his center-right party won elections this year. As has been the case with other European leaders, the president and chancellor are expected to focus on reaching a ceasefire in Ukraine and a U.S.-EU trade deal. The two will see each other often in the weeks ahead. Both are expected at the G7 summit in Canada in 10 days and the NATO summit in the Netherlands later this month. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures barely moving. They're up slightly after a mixed day when the Dow dropped 91 points, but the Nasdaq gained 61. In hockey, a comeback to start the NHL Stanley Cup final rematch.
McDavid out in front. Matthias Ekholm ties the game at 3.
The Oilers were trailing 3-1 and went on to win in overtime, beating the defending champion Florida Panthers 4-3 on TNT. Game 2 tomorrow night at Edmonton. Tonight in Oklahoma City, the battle starts for the NBA championship. The Thunder will host the Indiana Pacers in Game 1 of the finals. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Thursday edition of News Radio for South Texas, the Valley's Morning News. It's June 5th, 2025. show producer Fred Cruz, and AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine. He's on standby. I'm Sergio Sanchez. We start this Thursday morning, temperatures mostly in the low 80s. It's 79 to 80 degrees across South Texas. Yeah, triple-digit weather again today. We'll check the tropics in about 3 minutes with AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine. Stand by. For the first time in 6 years, Governor Greg Abbott now giving Texas teachers a pay raise.
The $8.5 billion bill was signed into law by the governor, who says it will give teachers $2,500 to $10,000 more a year, depending on district size and teacher experience.
Teacher pay will be at an all-time high. This also expands the teacher incentive allotment merit pay to put more teachers on the pathway to being able to earn a six-figure salary.
He says student funding is at an all-time high as well due to provisions in the bill. School officials and public education advocates have praised the new funding while warning that the new dollars are a long way from catching districts up with inflation.
That's reporter Austin York. Other education-related news. The federal government is suing the state of Texas over a 20-year-old program that benefits some who are in the country illegally.
Texas law offers in-state tuition for people in the country illegally who live in the state, such as those who were brought to the U.S. as children. The Justice Department says the law unconstitutionally discriminates against U.S. citizens who are not afforded the same privileges, regardless of which state they live in. In a statement, Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Justice Department will relentlessly fight to vindicate federal law and ensure that U.S. citizens are not treated like second-class citizens anywhere in the country. This lawsuit follows 2 executive orders recently signed by President Trump that seek to ensure people in the country illegally are not obtaining taxpayer benefits or preferential treatment.
And that request from the state of Texas, from the federal government, that the state of Texas stop granting in-state tuition has been granted. Illegal immigrants attending college in Texas, thanks to a federal court, no longer eligible for in-state tuition. It's 7:07 on the Valley's Morning News. State of Texas could soon require warning labels on some popular prepackaged food.
Senate Bill 25 is on Governor Abbott's desk awaiting his move. If signed, it would mandate labels on products containing certain ingredients. The list includes additives like Red 40, titanium dioxide, and BHA, found in items like Skittles, Doritos, and Little Debbie snacks. Labels would go into effect in 2027 and warn consumers that the product contains an ingredient not recommended for human consumption in other countries. Supporters say it's all about transparency. Opponents, including major manufacturers, say the bill could raise costs and confuse shoppers.
And some changes to the food stamp program, SNAP program. Some foods will no longer be eligible to be purchased with those SNAP benefits. We'll tell you what that is coming up right after AccuWeather. And it's AccuWeather time. Thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch, reminding you that there's some nice things for Dad at Martin Farm and Ranch. Stop by there, Monte Cristo, Edinburgh. Dad deserves the best, deserves a thoughtful gift, and they got some good stuff for Dad at Martin Farm and Ranch in Edinburgh on Monte Cristo. Say hi to Dougie if you stop by. Meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine joining us. Tropical coverage 2025. Jeffy, what you got? What are the computers telling you today?
Well, it's disappointing. So the tropical wave from Cabo Verde Islands is not expected to develop. Not even the one for June 12th through 16th for a U.S. impact, but it could affect Cuba and eastern portions of Mexico. So right now, June 12th to 16th has a low risk. All areas, including Florida and areas west towards Texas, is at a near zero risk. So it's going to be quiet for the next week and a half.
Man, we can't even get some runoff energy.
Nope.
Wow. All right.
Just going to cut you off there. Nope.
All right.
Sorry.
I got you. That's your tropical update for today.
Yeah.
Let's
Pacific side of things is semi-interesting, but only a little.
Well, see, if you get the Pacific side closer, to just south of us or west of us, maybe it can cross over, right?
Right. Yeah, and speaking of Pacific, we have one that's a high risk of development June 6th through the 8th. It is looking to go straight west, but if it does turn north at all, make sure to update because, then that could potentially bring moisture.
All right. Dry weather for Texas travel today. We're good?
Texas travel dry minus a couple spots, mainly Dallas. We got a spotty thunder shower today, otherwise dry tomorrow and Saturday. Temps in the upper 80s, low 90s. Houston, dry mix of clouds and sunshine in the low to mid 90s. And San Antonio are warming up into the mid to upper 90s with some sun every day.
Okay, and that is your AccuWeather forecast, for Texas. And for us, the same old, same old. It's going to be triple digits today, like mid 90s and low 100s. Same thing tomorrow. Goody. Even hotter for Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be up to about 104, 105 for the weekend. All right. So on the National Day calendar, why? I see the word veggie burger. Like, why? Like, seriously. Yeah, but if you want to make it taste better, put some ketchup on it. It's National Ketchup Day. And around here, I know you likely have never tasted this wonderful interpretation of ketchup. I don't know what they do. Maybe they put more sugar in it. I have no idea what they do.
Oh, it's just sweeter.
Yeah, Whataburger. Whataburger ketchup, good stuff. Not the spicy. I don't like the spicy one.
Are you talking about Whataburger or like water, like the word water?
Well, the water burger would be the Whataburger in Alamo that got flooded back in late March.
Oh,
so it's what a burger. But
yeah,
here in Texas, we speed it up. Whataburger.
We have one up here. So I guess I could probably get some of that.
It's in Minneapolis and Minnesota.
I think at the Mall of America.
I'm there.
No. I'm thinking of a different restaurant chain. Whataburger's the big orange W. I'm thinking of a different, very similar logo, but I'm sorry.
It's one of those like Coming to America where it's McDonald's or McDowell's. Up there, it's a Huda or what? This is a burger or something like that, right? It's kind of looks like it, but it's
Wahlburgers is what I was thinking of.
It's in Wahlbangers or Wahlburgers?
Wahlburgers is the one that I was thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. Freddie just got it. It's Mark. It's the Mark and his brother Cody, Jimmy, Tommy, whatever. It's the Wahlburger, right? It's
yes, Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Burgers.
Burgers. Well, Wahlburgers. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasted enough time on that. All right, pal. Kai next hour. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine on 710 KURV. It might be at some of these burger places. Everybody asking you for a tip these days, right? They just turn the screen around. Say, can you give me a few cents for their little coffee transaction? More Americans say the tipping culture in our nation is now way out of control.
According to a new Bankrate survey, 41% of respondents said tipping culture has gotten out of hand, while that share rose to 45% among Gen Xers and baby boomers. While Bankrate found older generations are more likely to hold negative attitudes about tipping, they're also more likely to tip. The survey also found pre-entered tip screens have become a particular pain point for consumers, with nearly 2 in 5 respondents saying they found them annoying. I'm at Mattinson.
It's 7:13 on the Valley's Morning News. And just a heads up, in case you suffered from flooding in late March, we know there are about 5,000 people that are working with FEMA to try to get some assistance, about 5,000 folks. Now, a warning from the folks at FEMA that there are scammers working the streets, might be attempting to get your personal information, impersonating FEMA inspectors, got the badge, got a jacket or whatever. Anyone who shows up without an appointment and demands money, they say they're a FEMA inspector. Yeah, you got a scammer, so I want to call the police. Time is 7:14. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. We review a little bit of this with the city manager for the city of Harlingen, Gabe Gonzalez. Had a conversation with me a couple days back. Yeah, the impact for Harlingen. They probably got it the worst, the Harlingen area, from the late March storm. We'll catch up to speed with Harlingen. We had the state of the city just a few days back as well. That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
The rental team at ASCO is ready to help you find the right equipment to do the job. For over 65 years, we've dedicated ourselves to supporting you with fast service and reliable equipment. Choose from daily, weekly, or long-term rental options to fit your project's needs. Buy it, rent it, support it. We're on it at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com for your next equipment rental. That's ASCOEQ.com.
You spent the last 10 years or more building a successful business, but the past year has been tough. Maybe you've fallen behind on payroll taxes and the IRS is trying to come after your business or you personally. Hi, I'm Texas tax attorney Nick Namath with the law offices of Nick Namath. If you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Nick Namath, today. Your first visit is free and always confidential. Call Nick Namath at 972-484-0TAX or go to myiRSteam.com. Principal Office, Dallas, Texas.
Brian Kilmeade here, inviting you to tune in weekday mornings starting at 9 for the Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez on News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
News Talk 710 KURV is your trusted station in South Texas for the conversations you need to hear, you need to know. Talking with the emergency management and county judge office decision makers, and of course AccuWeather and the National Weather Service. In the event we get a hurricane, this is it. The station in South Texas, 710 KURV. Thank you to our Tropical Coverage 2025 supporters, McAfee Insurance. Big thank you to Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC. And we now go to City Hall, Harlingen. Gabriel Gonzalez, our city manager for Harlingen. Congratulations on the state of the city, you and the mayor and all the gang a few days back. We'll touch on that. But first, Gabe, let's roll the clock back. Late March, of course, that nasty flood. It walloped Harlingen big time. I know you folks you still have some families there affected by this. You got that FEMA office that opened up nearby. So tell me about participation with that, what folks need to know, and what do you see as far as people still trying to recover from that nasty flood late March?
Well, there's some people that definitely need some help, and we have been declared disaster both by the governor and by the president of the United States. So that opened up the door for FEMA and the SBA to be here. TDM is here as well. They're at the Harlingen Convention Center, which is right behind Sam's. So those residents and businesses, not just from Harlingen, but from the surrounding community, and Cameron County, can go to the convention center and just meet with FEMA. Make sure you take your driver's license, any documentation showing the damage that was sustained by your business or your home, and they're going to be there for at least the next 60 days. And so depending on demand, they might actually stretch that out. So they're here in town. They're able to provide assistance to anybody from Cameron County. So make sure that if you sustain damage, you head on out to the convention center, and they'll do what they can to help you out.
What if somebody's tuning in right now and said, well, I've got insurance, maybe they even had flood insurance in businesses or homes. Can they still receive any, grant money or low interest loans through FEMA to try to rebuild everything? How does all that work? Do you know?
Yes. If they have insurance, they have to take their documentation with them to see what either the flood insurance or the homeowner's insurance covered, and then to look at the remaining amount of damage that was sustained, and then they'll make a determination if they can help. And for businesses, it's the SBA that's providing assistance. So they need to do the same thing. Take copies of their insurance, anything that they may have either estimated they can cover or have issued a check for already, and any difference, they'll work with the business to see how they can help.
Gabriel Gonzalez is our city manager for Harlingen. Ballpark figure, you have any idea how many folks were impacted by that nasty weather event in your area?
In Harlingen alone, we had to rescue about 1,100 people Thursday, Friday, and early Saturday.
Big event. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about state of the city. A few days back, we had our mayor provided that. So highlights, what stands out to you?
Well, I think the one message is that Harlingen is doing great. We're growing. We've sustained growth for the last 3 years. If I could talk briefly about the building permits, I think that's a good sign of the economy. Is your city growing? Is it stagnant? Well, ours is definitely growing. 2 years ago, we had the highest amount of building permits. We're at $176 million. That's the first year she took office. Last year, we had $144 million. That's the second highest year in building permits that we've had consecutive years. And then this year so far, we're at $122.1 million in building permits. So we've had the three highest years consecutively in the history of Harlingen as far as building permits go. And all of that is either residential or commercial. So that's a strong sign. And we still have 5 months to go left in the fiscal year. So that building permit number of this year may become the second highest. Yeah.
It's 10-4. Well, sitting in Harlingen, are we benefiting from the massive economic expansion at the Port of Brownsville and Harlingen, Elon Musk, LNG, steel, all that stuff that's taking place just a few miles away at the coast? Can we say that we're benefiting from that the hammers are flying in Harlingen as a result of the economic expansion?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you have
the podiatry school heading up there and expanding. On the medical side, you're seeing quite a bit of growth as well, as far as
absolutely. As you mentioned, we have the School of Podiatric Medicine in town. We also have the Institute of Neuroscience that is open and doing well. They're focusing on issues dealing with brain health. We're also going to have a new school, the School of Physical Therapy and Occupational Therapy. That's going to be in the old United Healthcare building. That's on the corner of Ed Carey and BIS 77. That's going to be opening up soon. And then we're going to start a limb preservation program and clinic that'll be focused on diabetic patients, which is obviously a big need here in the Valley. And they're going to focus on people that have diabetes and help them keep their limbs and work on recovery of any sores that they may have in their body.
Yeah, that's an impressive expansion of medical and academic related services there from UTRGV. Our guest is Gabriel Gonzalez, our city manager for Harlingen. A few days back, they had State of the City. We're catching up to speed with our family at Harlingen at City Hall. The ability or the effort by Harlingen to host industry that is rapidly coming here. We got folks in economic development at the coast at Brownsville, and they're looking at, fielding calls and everything from data chip manufacturing to data centers. Impressive potential for all of that to come here like very quick. As far as industrial square footage, aerospace, hosting anything related to feeding into all that industry that is expanding. What can you tell me as far as efforts in Harlingen? Are you also getting prospects of people checking in and say, hey, what do you have available for us to land on your pad? And that way, do some business nearby at Brownsville or at the airport.
Yeah, we do. Let me cover some of the businesses that opened up recently. As you know, Mott's Building Materials opened up in Harlingen recently. And so they have a center right off the expressway. Black Bear Diner also opened up as well. Walk-Ons open up right in front of Bass Pro Shops. We have a Deep End. Planet Fitness expanded to another facility on Dixieland. We had another hotel come up, Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott. And opening soon, we're going to have Cavender's. So we do have businesses coming into town. As our population grows, so will the number of businesses that come in. And one of the biggest buildings that we have available for industry is the old United Launch Alliance building off the airport.
Yeah.
That's a 100,000 square foot facility that's geared towards aviation. That facility is now available because ULA had to leave. They finished their project here in Harlingen. And so any industry that needs to have access to the airport, the runway, that would be an ideal structure for any business considering that.
Speaking of the airport, there was some damage from that late March flood. They needed to take out some road or tarmac or things like that. What can you tell me as far as any repairs or updates from the airport?
Well, let me cover some of the largest projects that we've undertaken so far. The airport has the longest runway south of San Antonio. It's 9,400 feet long. That cost $32.5 million to construct. And right now, as we speak, they're working on the air traffic control tower. The old tower has been demolished, and there's a temporary tower that's been set up.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to cost $25 million, and that'll be completed in 2026. So mid next year sometime it'll be available.
The new tower. Okay.
Yeah, and you're right. We did sustain some damage to the runways, but the airport is in contact with the FAA, and they're working on trying to get some. The airport was shut down for a while, but it's opened back up now, and so they're working with the airport to try to make sure that everything out there is safe.
I'm curious to see what would be a temporary tower at the airport. Are you using one of those trucks with like those cups, those cranes that go up there to scout for traffic? What do you do out there?
Well, let me tell you, it looks like if you look at it from the outside and you don't know what it is like a mobile trailer, so to speak. Except it's got antennas up on top and it's got all sorts of equipment inside.
Okay.
And so we had to rent that for the FAA to have
for the next year. Hey, real quick, as I let you go, flood mitigation. I'm sure, man, I'm sure you guys talking a lot about that in Harlingen at City Hall as a result of what happened in late March. Yes, you can't prepare for something like that, but I know flood mitigation has always been an issue at City Hall. So anything new developing, new projects with the Arroyo, anything like that we should mention real quick?
Well, the Arroyo is going to get dredged, and so that's going to help. They're going to deepen it, and that's going to be the IBWC that's overseeing that project.
Uh-huh.
So that will help to some extent as far as mitigation. We also started our own drainage crew last year, and so they've been busy working on the Lozano detention pond, and that pond worked beautifully during the flood. It was full of water, was holding water that otherwise would have been in people's homes, in their yards, in their cars. And so it did its job well. We're not finished with the pond. It's going to be 14 acres when it's completed. We should be done later this year. So
okay. Can you repurpose that water, Gabe? Can you use it in any way? Give it to
I've always said that now, because of the change in climate and the drought that we've been in, we need to find a way to reuse our drainage water and send it to our reservoirs. That's got to be something that we look at in the future. That's not something that we're looking at right now as far as Harlingen goes, but I think at some point we need to figure out how to capture that water and use it again.
All right, brother. Thanks for your time today. Keep in touch. Our city manager for Harlingen, Gabriel Gonzalez. Be well. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Also at Radio Para Mí. Download that free app. Check of news, the service of Jay Gonzalez, injury attorney, is ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. Texas lawmakers settled on a few items to remove from the SNAP program, the food stamps. Candy bars and soda is what lawmakers said will not be used with the SNAP program. There is a new way to detect the spread of measles. Folks that are in laboratories are now using the monitoring of wastewater to find the spread of measles.
Similar methods were used during the COVID pandemic, and now Wastewater Scan is helping to monitor water across 40 states. The increased monitoring comes as measles in the U.S. has reached high levels following an outbreak that started in West Texas. Cases have been reported in more than 30 states this year. I'm Michael Kastner.
This is the Valley's Morning News. This is News Talk 710 KURV, live at Radio Para Mi. Hope you download the app and join us on your smart device, your smartphone. Sports next on 710 KURV. The economic engine of the RGV is the Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville. And again, I invite you to join them at portofbrownsville.com. There's a lot of news that's happening consistently, monthly. There's a second liquefied natural gas node that's going to open up very soon. They're going to start constructing that second LNG. Right now, the present liquefied natural gas distribution site, it employs thousands of individuals, anywhere between 3,000-4,000 more. On the way, there'll be several thousand more once both projects are under construction. They're expanding shipbuilding, shipbreaking, steel operations as well. We are, in essence, the Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville is the port of Monterrey, the industrial north of Mexico. All the multinational firms out there producing all sorts of consumer goods and products and vehicles and engines, all that steel, coming in through the Port of Brownsville. There are thousands of jobs now, hundreds more available at the moment, thousands more on the way, and might be an investment opportunity for you. And I tell you all this so that you see what's going on month to month. And there's breaking news. You'll be the first to know. portofbrownsville.com. Sign up for the free newsletter.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call on the Cal at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
At Rivetta's Machinery in Donna, they're bringing the best deals on Coyote equipment to your job site, your farm, or your backyard. Right now, take advantage of 0% interest or up to $6,000 cash back on Coyote track loaders and skid steers. These are machines built for maximum performance no matter the task. But don't stop there. They're also offering fantastic savings on Coyote tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles. And whether you're hauling something, mowing, tackling other big jobs, Coyote has the equipment to help you get it done. If you're looking for great deals and great service from a team that treats you like family, look no further than Rivetta's Machinery and Coyote. Start your next project right. Visit Rivetta's Machinery in Donna or browse their deals when it suits you at mynewtractor.com. That's their website, mynewtractor.com. Rivetta's for the long haul. See dealer for full details.
Your Houston Astros visit the Pittsburgh Pirates. It all starts at 6 later tonight. Powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women, Mission Economic Development Corporation, and News Talk 710 KURV.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
I'm Kevin Walker with your TSN Sports Minute. The Texas Rangers fell to the Tampa Bay Rays 5-4 despite a ninth-inning rally in which Texas will now have to try to salvage the series. That's become a reoccurring theme so far this season. The Game 3 finale is set for 6:35 tonight at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Jack Leiter will be on the bump.
The 0-1. Rounded up the third baseline. Backhanded by Hayes, just fair. Throws to first in time. And the side is retired. Astros had a leadoff double by Pena. They had first and second and one out, but they come up empty.
A highlight that did not go the way of the Houston Astros, as many things did it yesterday, as they were blinked by the Pittsburgh Pirates 3-0 in Game 2 of the series. The rubber match at PNC Park is set for 5:40 today with Framber Valdez on the mound.
Pops it up. Jolie Mitchell at first base, and she's got it. And the Texas Longhorns rally to win Game 1 of the finals.
That was the final call for Game 1 of the College World Series for softball as the Interstate Showdown goes advantage for the Texas Longhorns with a 2-1 victory. Game 2 will take place at 7 tonight. With a win, Texas would win its first NCAA championship in softball. With your TSN Sports Minute, I'm Kevin Walker.
AccuWeather says triple digits today, tomorrow, and we should be up to 104, 105 by the weekend. Right now, temperatures 79 to 81 degrees across South Texas, and the border bridge wait times, as posted on KURV.com. Right-hand margin, you'll see the report from Customs. So if you're driving back to Brownsville, not too bad, about 10 to 15 minutes at all three major bridges. Same thing, McAllen, about 10 to 15 at all three. This is the Valley's Morning News on Newstalk 710 KURV. Major recall from Ford, over 500,000 vehicles, some trucks being recalled. That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Spotlight on your health, brought to you by DHR Health.
From DHR Health, ENT specialist and dermatology specialist, Dr. Keith Piku.
We do a lot of skin cancers. Dermatologists do a lot of skin cancers in the head and neck area, elsewhere on the skin. The reason I do the ENT surgery is I like the surgery. It's kids with bad tonsils. If you've got someone who's got a bad nose, not breathing well, and I can fix it. Everything that exists in the world with regards to dermatology and ENT exists down here. I've seen things like Chagas disease down here, leprosy.